Joining us here tonight. The way this is going to work, we kind of are playing a tag team. We're going to each introduce ourselves before we ask for questions, and it's going to be on a wide range of topics here, obviously centered on Cleveland Heights. And again, thanks for coming. So my name's Elizabeth Westman. I live on Englewood Road, right here by Noble and Monticello. And I was born here in the city, went away, and my husband got into 4 law schools, and one of them was Case Western, and I said, Cleveland Heights, and I didn't look anywhere else, and we bought a house here in Cleveland Heights, so we're really excited to be back. We want to thank you for running for City Council. A lot of people wouldn't take that initiative, so that's wonderful. And a strong democratic community requires both citizen leadership and a strong city government. Step It Up is a group of citizens passionate about Cleveland Heights who have great aspirations for our community. We would like to know more about your views for the city. What excites you about Cleveland Heights' future, and what could Cleveland Heights do to make our community one of the best suburbs in the nation?
Is that the question?
That's the question.
Okay. I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
You know, first off, let me say thank you. I appreciate you all doing this, and I can honestly say that if I was not running for City Council, I'd probably be sitting in a room with you all doing this exact same activity, because I think it's probably about time that we had some substantive change in the way we run government in Cleveland Heights. And that's not to disparage anyone that's in government right now, but outdated, antiquated, time for us to sort of get into the 21st century and move on. I have not an entirely similar story to yours, but I moved to Cleveland Heights about 4 years ago. And I moved from Washington, D.C. And I moved my organization. I run a national nonprofit organization. It's been in D.C. for 22 years. And we looked for a new home. My wife and I wanted to move out of the Beltway area, and we were looking for a place to live, and we looked at Louisville, Lexington, Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, shopped them all, looked at all the neighborhoods, spent the nights, ate at the restaurants, and ultimately we settled on Cleveland. And it was initially kind of our goal, being urban people, to want to live in the city. And we found that to be a difficult proposition, being new to the community. So we started to drive around, and when you hit Cedar Hill, and you come up Cedar Fairmount, you're pretty much answered your question, I think, on the east side of Cleveland. We want to live on the east side of where you're going to live. And we drove down Scarborough, Coleridge, and Corridon, and we only ended up looking at houses on those 3 streets, and we ended up buying a house on Coleridge, on the corner of Coleridge and Lamberton. 88-year-old home with broken pipes and peeling paint, but we love it. And for what we were able to afford in Cleveland Heights, we wouldn't have been able to touch anything in the Washington metro area. And we moved our organization here. We moved our family, me and my wife here. We don't have kids yet, but we will shortly. And what excites us about the community, what excites me about the community, is that there's just this overwhelming opportunity here. With, you know, everyone talks about our diversity, and was really great. But there's also opportunity for us to be what I think is an economic engine for the east side of Cleveland. I mean, we're not going to solve all of Cleveland's problems, but we have the opportunity to be an economic engine with our relationship with University Circle, with our relationship to East Cleveland, University Heights, and South Euclid, and Shaker Heights. We have the opportunity to be sort of that coordinator, that collaborator, to bring all these good ideas together, because Cleveland Heights is a community full of good ideas. Planners, architects, legal professionals, accountants, professors, doctors, nurses, lawyers, everything you can imagine right here in this, you know, this very democratic, liberal community, which appeals to me. And for me, I just see a lot of opportunity. And you know, you could say like sort of the more selfish things, great restaurants and good commercial districts, old tree-lined streets and great homes and all that. Those are all material, and you can get that in a lot of communities in Northeast Ohio, depending on what you like. But here there just seems to be an opportunity to turn Cleveland around, turn our east side around. We're not the answer to the region, you know, completely, but we certainly can be the answer to the east side, helping bring some other communities up, helping to look at efficiencies. So I think that's what excites me, and I'm not sure if I answered all the questions, but you know.
Now on the other side, our city also has many problems, and here's a reality check from one of our members. This is a quote from her. She said,
I drink water?
Yes, please.
Right.
I'm a nurse. I want you hydrated.
There's nice water there for you.
Oh, thank you.
She said, my house was broken into. 5 vacant houses on my street are the site of vandalism and squatters. My property value has gone down dramatically, and a number of nearby storefronts are empty. I also pay high taxes for a street with more potholes and diminished city services. Why should she stay in Cleveland Heights?
Absolutely good question. When I first moved to Cleveland Heights, I joined the Future Heights Board. We hadn't launched the Heights Observer yet. I'm going to try to cream my neck a little bit, but I'm not.
That's okay.
No,
No, that's right.
one of the big issues that struck me, I'm a planner by education. I have a master's degree in planning. And one of the things that struck me was that we didn't have a master plan. We didn't have an economic development strategy. We have this vision. It's a very good document, a great vision. It sort of tells you what we want to be when we grow up, but it doesn't tell you how we're going to get there. And I started kind of questioning some of these issues, and I spoke with city leaders, and we held an event, and I think it was at Beaumont like 2 years ago. It was the 5-year review of the master plan. My question to the folks at the front was, why would I move here? What reason would I have to move to Cleveland Heights? The taxes are high, the homes are inefficient and outdated in terms of modern amenities and energy. The school systems have a perception of being bad. I don't think they're bad, but they have this perception that's pretty well entrenched amongst a lot of the real estate professionals and amongst folks living further out in the suburbs. I said, so what is the sell here? And the answer that I got from people in our leadership was, well, Toby, there's a lot of people like you moving here, doctors and lawyers and professors. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a professor. I run a nonprofit organization. I don't make anywhere near the kind of money that those people make. So if that's the target and the goal of what we're trying to attract, that's a limited population. So if you're a middle income person or a low income person and you want the opportunities that Cleveland Heights present, it's a tough, to me it's a very tough sell right now why they would move to this community. I think low income people move here because they can send their kids to good schools and live in rental units that are pretty affordable probably. But what are we doing to sort of get them through, to put them into permanent units, to make sure the kids are productive in our schools and that they come back and they return like you did and want to be part of the community? I think that person that you're speaking of, the hypothetical, has an absolutely perfect case. The potholes are horrible in the city. Taylor Road is an embarrassment in my opinion. You drive down it, and I don't drive down it because I'm afraid it's going to hurt my car, I'm going to be honest with you. The commercial districts are abandoned. There's no master plan, there's no economic development strategy. Where's the money being spent? Where's the money been spent for the last 20 years in this community? You know, certainly Coventry's nice, and that's a success story when you concentrate resources on there, but they did that themselves. The businesses along Coventry did that themselves. They invested in their own development. Where's the rest of it? Where's the development up along Mayfield and Noble? You know, nothing in probably 20 years has substantially been put into that part of our community. Along Taylor Road, along Cedar Road, other than Severance is up there, but to my opinion, a poor urban design, not a very good urban design. And so you've got to send a message to the citizens that are thinking about leaving or that are stressed out and taken aback by the situation that we got a plan in place. This is how we're going to spend our precious resources. This is how we're going to increase those, getting rid of those vacancies. We're going to dedicate our commercial revolving loan fund to the Taylor Cedar corridor, and we're going to make sure that all gets developed over the next 5 years. So that's another area that gets a great pocket of investment. We're going to do it up at Noble and Mayfield. But to just sort of throw it around, and it's like the shotgun approach to economic development. You know, you shoot buckshot in the air, you're going to hit something, but you're going to miss everything else. And so I think you've got to make a new value proposition to those people that our government is responsive, and that it does care, and that we are trying to address those things.